What is going on, world? What's up, YouTube? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new episode of the 8 Below Show. Welcome everyone to 8 Below, the best entertainment related show here on YouTube. And I'm super excited about our episode here today. We have a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get into it. Alan Wake is a title that many people want to see a continuation of, myself included, guys. This is a title coming to us, of course, from Remedy Entertainment, the ones who most recently made Control. And I want to talk, though, about Alan Wake 2, this highly anticipated sequel that hasn't been confirmed at this point, but the rumblings and the talk, the speculation is really ramping up for this title. And so I want to talk about Alan Wake 2 and everything that we know so far about this project. We can break it down, give a little bit of, some speculation, and I would love to hear some of your thoughts in the comment section down below. So let's get into it. So guys, Alan Wake, like I said, come to us from Remedy Entertainment, was released in May of 2010. So we're on the 10-year, past the 10-year anniversary of the very first Alan Wake title. Now, this is an action-adventure game. However, guys, it really kind of reminds me a lot of kind of a survival horror type style game, but action-adventure game, of course, that was developed by Remedy Entertainment, published by Microsoft Studios, and was released for the Xbox 360 and Microsoft Windows. Question is, guys, would Alan Wake 2 release on Xbox as well as PlayStation and such, or would it stay, as an exclusive to Xbox? That's a question for another day. But there's two things here, guys. Number one is, at this very moment in time with Alan Wake, why haven't we seen a continuation of this series so far? I mean, what is it? And, usually when to answer that, you have to look at two things. The first one being, of course, the sales. How were the sales of this game? And number two is, what was the critical reception? So we're going to talk about, first of all, the critical reception in response to Alan Wake. And so Alan Wake, though, it received generally favorable reviews on both platforms according to review aggregator Metacritic. So according to Metacritic, guys, it got an 83 out of 100 for Xbox 360 as well as PC. You look across the board, I mean, really, guys, Eurogamer gave it a 7 out of 10. Pretty good. Game Informer, 8.5 out of 10. That's good. GameSpot, 8.5 out of 10. Game Trailers, 8.6. IGN gave it a 9 out of 10. That's really good, guys. And so all in all, here's what I'll say. It got pretty good reviews, guys, Alan Wake did as a whole. So if you're going based on that, I mean, obviously you would think, why haven't we gotten a sequel as of yet? But the second part of that is the sales, guys. Alan Wake was released the same week as Red Dead Redemption, and thus initial sales were slow. NPD Group stated sales for the first 2 weeks reached 145,000 units, while Red Dead Redemption had reached 1.5 million during the same period. However, it was in the months that followed, it gained more sales traction through word of mouth. Industry Gamers reported in December of 2011 that sales of Alan Wake, currently reported at 330,000 by NPD Group, were emitting about 900,000 units digitally redeemed during the Xbox's 2011 holiday bundle, in addition to an additional 170,000 global units, bringing the total sales to around 1.4 million. Not too bad for a very first IP or game in this IP. Now, on March 13, 2012, Remedy Entertainment announced that the game had passed 2 million copies sold, including Xbox 360 and PC. On May 23, 2013, Remedy creative director Sam Lake announced that the game and its standalone follow-up had sold 3 million copies. On March 25th, 2015, Remedy's CEO tweeted the franchise has sold over 4.5 million units. The following month, a Polygon story on the game's prototype for a sequel mentioned that Alan Wake had sold more than 3.2 million copies, and according to a report, Alan Wake was the second most illegally copied Xbox 360 game of 2010 with more than 1.1 million downloads. It includes an amusing feature where if pirated, the character wears an eye patch during the game. And so, here's the thing. It got illegally copied 1.1 million times, guys, and it still sold, over 4.5 million units. That's a big deal. I mean, this reminds me of like Avatar. Remember when Avatar came out, guys, as a movie? It started off pretty good, but it was really just the staying power. Like people just kept going to the movie theater to keep watching the movie. It wasn't that it had like the most, didn't, have the biggest weekends of all time like that of like Star Wars or Avengers. It just kind of gradually climbed over time. This started very slow, 145,000 units, and Red Dead Redemption was just, going way above and beyond what Alan Wake was doing. But then over time, it just kept on climbing. Over 4.5 million units. So it's not the sales, obviously, because that's huge, guys. I mean, 4.5 million units for for the very first game in an IP like this, that is massive. Now, that leads us to, of course, the reception. Reception was really good as well, and that's probably why it did so well from a sales perspective, got good word of mouth. Now, as far as the sequel is concerned, guys, at Alan Wake's release, Remedy had intended for a sequel, and then the developer stated that Remedy saw the game as Season 1, and its DLC was to bridge the gap to what we're working towards. Then, of course, guys, there has been rampant speculation of a second game in this universe. Now, what I'm going to say, though, is that we obviously got some DLC for Alan Wake, and one of the big things, though, that Remedy did state is that its next game following Control will be part of a Remedy-connected universe shared by Alan Wake and Control. And so that kind of leads me to the next point here, guys, which is coming to us from Phil Hornshaw of GameSpot. It might be combined with the future Control game, but the big takeaway from Awe is that Remedy is setting up the continuation of Alan Wake's story. The folks at Remedy Entertainment have mentioned several times over the years that they would really like to continue the story of 2010's Alan Wake. Despite 2 DLC additions and a smaller combat-focused pseudo sequel, there's been no resolution to the story of the writer who ended the original game trapped by an evil supernatural entity called the Dark Presence. There are connections to Alan Wake and other Remedy games, but up until now, we've only gotten them as Easter eggs and hints. But Control's final DLC edition, Awe, is very focused on tying the world of Alan Wake to the world of Control. And the end of the DLC makes it very clear we're headed back to Bright Falls in the future to continue Alan Wake's story, which is huge, guys. There's been a lot of question marks. Is Control 2 going to be the next thing that Remedy does? Is it going to be something else? And obviously, guys, we are going to be getting another Alan Wake. I would say, guys, I feel pretty confident saying that it is definitely just a matter of time. Now, it's been 10 years, so we may, it might be still a ways away, but nonetheless, it seems like it's coming. Now, Jesse's big goal is hunting down Hartman before he can get loose and murder everyone in the Federal Bureau of Control, and along the way, she uncovers a bunch of lore tidbits about him. Alan and Alice Wake, Alan's wife. Unlike the rest of Control, there's not really much to spoil there, even at the end of the DLC. The final moments of the story of All are more of a teaser for the future than a conclusion of what we've seen so far. So, look, there's also some telling dialogue from Wake himself, which suggests an explanation for what this whole Hartman hunt is really about. Wake gets in touch with Jesse because he needs a hero. The implication is that Awe is a tryout for Jesse, and that Wake is planning to write her into the story that will finally save him from the dark place 10 years after the events of Alan Wake put him there. The last dialogue he has sounds like Wake's next step will be to write Jesse into his story. Here's what I'm going to say, guys. I absolutely loved Control for the most part. I loved just the concepts and all of that stuff that this game really represented. And I got to say, guys, I'm excited to see how they tie in Alan Wake into this. I'm not as much involved in Alan Wake's, lore and all of that. But I can tell you that if Remedy's trying to kind of bridge the gap or really bring these two worlds together, that they coexist in the same universe, that's awesome. Absolutely awesome. And I cannot wait to see what that looks like moving into Alan Wake 2. Because will we see Jesse in there? Will we see other characters that are familiar to us from, say, Control? I think there's a really good possibility of that. Now, altogether, the signal mentioning a Bright Falls event happening a couple years in the future really sounds like Remedy saying Alan Wake 2 or some variation thereof is on its way, probably dropping in or around 2022. It might also be that Control 2 and Alan Wake 2 are one and the same, but we know from a blog post from Remedy creative director Sam Lake that AWE is only the beginning and that the studio is working on another game in the shared universe. It really sounds like the end of AWE has just confirmed what we can expect, the conclusion or at least continuation of Alan Wake's story more than 10 years later. Now here's a question. Will the next game not be called Alan Wake 2? Will it not be called Control 2? Will it be called something completely new that is just within this universe, right? It's hard to say. I think that they should do an Alan Wake 2. They should certainly do a Control 2. I think those would be awesome. I've stated, guys, that I would like to see a Control 2 before an Alan Wake 2, but I understand if they want to do Alan Wake 2 first. I think either way that you go at this, I don't think that you can really go wrong. I mean, both titles have done very well from a reception perspective. I would absolutely love to see what they can put together here when we're talking about merging these two worlds. I think it needs to happen more in video games, guys, where we see worlds kind of come together. Like how Apex Legends is actually in the Titanfall universe and, so on and so forth. There's a bunch of different titles that are starting to do this more, and I'm very happy that Remedy is deciding to go in this direction. But let me know, guys, what do you all think we are going to expect to see here in Alan Wake 2? When do you think we're going to get it? I think that this article is probably pretty on point when it states 2022 or somewhere around there. I would agree. I would say we're probably going to hear more about Alan Wake 2 or whatever the next project is in 2021, and then maybe it'll come out at early to mid 2022. We'll have to kind of wait and see. It's also hard to say how far are they in development. But Alan Wake 2, guys, what do you think? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Alan Wake content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. With the excitement building for Halo Infinite, guys, I wanted to talk about one of the big aspects of what I have absolutely loved about Halo in the past. One of those things, of course, being the multiplayer, that being free to play with Halo Infinite, which is absolutely a huge step in the right direction for Halo, in my opinion. But I also wanted to talk about the ranking system here. And each Halo has a different kind of style ranking system. And my favorite personally was Halo Reach. I really grinded very hard in Halo Reach when the game came out, and I thought it had the best rank up system in my personal opinion. The rank up system, guys, were in Halo Reach was based on credits, and I would actually really like it if they did this again, because it was very grindy, obviously, to get to pretty far into the rank up system, but it also really left you things that were earnable items, things that you just earned throughout the game instead of paying for those items like you can with monetization and such. I absolutely love these ranks. It reminds me of like Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2, like the games where it was at times very grindy to get certain things, but it brought you back to the game over and over again. And I think a lot of games these days don't do that. Well, what I want to talk about in particular, will we see a return of Inheritor rank? So guys, all the different ranks in Halo Reach, absolutely loved them. I thought that they were absolutely awesome. However, what I'm going to say is that, it's very grindy. And each emblem, as you're getting closer and closer to the end, they just are really sick looking. They're next to your name. You get different, pieces of armor on your Spartan. It's really cool. But Inheritor rank, guys, 20 million credits to get Inheritor rank. And this was the creme of the creme, guys. This was the rank in Halo Reach. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe that they brought Inheritor rank back for most of the other Halos. This was the one that I really grinded really hard for it. I did not get to Inheritor though, guys. I actually was able to get to, I believe it was General Grade 4. It was right before Field Marshal. But guys, I mean, that's 2.6 million credits, and it's a real grind. I put a lot of time into Firefight, playing, multiplayer and such. And honestly, guys, it was a real grind, even for, just getting to like General, getting to Brigadier, Colonel, all of those, it was a grind for each one. And so getting to general grade 4 for me, I was really happy with. Obviously, I wanted to go, further, but, when you're playing other games and such, it's difficult. But I really want to see a return to this rank up system, and also just a return of Inheritor rank as a whole with Halo Infinite. And I think there's a really good chance of it, because I think that this was, in my opinion, the best rank up system in all of Halo ever. I absolutely loved this idea of you're consistently, grinding, and there's something, that you can continue to earn as you're going along the way. There's kind of like that goal in the distance. And the other thing with Inheritor rank, guys, was when you got to Inheritor, you got the skull mask, which was something that was very coveted in Halo Reach, guys. Everybody wanted to get it. And you had to get to Inheritor, though, to be able to do it. And so, anyway, those were the days, man, for Halo, for me at least. Obviously, I loved Halo 2. I loved Halo 3. But Reach brought some really interesting concepts, especially from the rank up system. Now, with Infinite, I think it would be very smart to implement a system like this because it's free to play. I do think that they will have a store which is going to have a lot of monetization and microtransactions and things of that nature, which is fine because it's free to play the multiplayer. But I think to bring people back consistently, you should have a rank up system like this that's very grindy, so that people will continue, coming back to try to get to Inheritor rank, which is, like I said, the most coveted rank in Halo in my personal opinion. But I want to know from you guys, what do you all think? Do you think that Halo should bring back the Inheritor rank or the rank up system similar to what they had in Halo Reach? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Halo Infinite content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. We've talked on the YouTube channel a lot about Call of Duty Ghosts 2 and just this franchise, what people want to see as far as a continuation of the story of Ghost, as well as just, pretty much having a return to Call of Duty Ghosts instead of, Modern Warfare and Black Ops. And I mean, this is a title, guys, that came out back in 2013, and people really want to see a continuation of it, especially from the story perspective. So could we see Call of Duty Ghosts 2 be the Call of Duty of 2021? Because we know, guys, that in 2020, we've got Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, which I'm very excited about, but even though I'm really excited about it, we can always continue looking forward to the future. And in particular, guys, could Ghost 2 be the next title? I think there's a good chance of it, and here's why. So, Call of Duty Ghost 2 has become probably one of the, most talked about, sequels that we never got. And I think a lot of people really want to see a continuation of it. There's been a lot of talk, guys, of people wanting to go back to jetpacks. There's been a lot of talk of people wanting to go to Call of Duty Ghosts 2. And there's been, just rampant speculation, as well as just the rumblings of what the next Call of Duty is going to be. Because we, as fans of the Call of Duty franchise, one of the greatest franchises of all time, I think we always are looking at what we have right in front of us, but we can always look ahead because we know that unless something changes drastically, we're going to get a new Call of Duty every single year. Call of Duty Ghosts 2 needs to happen. And we know that this was a title, guys, that of course was, put together or developed by none other than Infinity Ward. Of course, Activision published it. And with this year being Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, it's Treyarch, obviously. And so what they're doing now is they're going back and forth between Treyarch and Infinity Ward, and then Raven Software as well as Sledgehammer Games. Sledgehammer Games isn't working on their own title. They are actually working on the campaign for Black Ops Cold War right now. Raven Software is helping, Treyarch with the multiplayer and, of course, probably zombies. Whereas now Infinity Ward, they're working on Warzone, but I'm sure that they are already starting to work on the next Call of Duty title. Could it be Ghost 2? I think there's a good chance of it, guys. Obviously, I've stated that, Activision, from a pure marketing perspective and just, from a sales perspective, the smart thing to do is to not do Call of Duty Ghost 2 because Modern Warfare and Black Ops are their two biggest sub-series in the overall franchise of Call of Duty, and it's not even close. I mean, so if you're Activision, you're probably looking at, let's make another Modern Warfare and let's keep making Black Ops games and just go back and forth between those two franchises because those are the ones that are making them the most money. Why fix something that's not broken. And doing Call of Duty Ghosts 2, it might see significant decline from what was Modern Warfare as well as Black Ops Cold War. It's hard to say, but from that perspective, I think Activision probably is just going to continue Modern Warfare. However, if we're being honest, guys, and it just purely, out of, excitement, I would love to see the continuation of Ghosts, because not only was the campaign at the end of Ghosts, one of the biggest cliffhangers in all of Call of Duty. I thought the campaign was actually one of the best in the entire Call of Duty series. And I mean, talk about a cliffhanger. It was an unbelievable cliffhanger. And then on top of that, guys, I loved Extinction. I thought Extinction was great. It was very unique. It was different. I loved it. It was like a concept that, unlike zombies, it was something that you could beat. It was something that, they could really have added much more to it. They didn't. And, we're still waiting to see if if Ghost is going to be the title, Ghost 2, of 2021. And so I'm kind of giving you guys both, perspectives here. One being, if you're Activision, most likely, if we're being honest, they're going to move in a direction of Modern Warfare or Black Ops moving forward. However, could they slip another, Ghost title in there? Could they do Advanced Warfare 2 or something of that sort where you're getting the jetpacks once again? They certainly could. I don't think that they would go back down that road. Maybe they would in the future, but I think it would probably be, near the end of another cycle of games. I would say probably boots on the ground for another, few titles, and then maybe to kind of try to keep things different and fresh almost, they start throwing in jetpacks again in a Call of Duty in the future. But I don't think they're going to do that yet. Ghost 2 makes the most sense if you're going to do something outside of Modern Warfare, because it's also an IP that, Infinity Ward has worked on. So, could it be? It could. Would I bet that it's going to be chosen over, say, a new Modern Warfare title? Probably not. Modern Warfare sold very well for Infinity Ward and Activision as a whole. And so I don't think they're just going to go away from that. They're just going to keep on trying to put more into Modern Warfare and putting more, aspects of Modern Warfare into, of course, Warzone, so on and so forth. But who knows, guys? It's hard to say what they're going to do here in the future, but I would love to hear your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. Could Call of Duty Ghosts 2 be the Call of Duty of 2021? Let me know. And for more Call of Duty Ghosts 2 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. Fallout 5 has been widely hyped, and people are expecting Fallout 5 to come out sooner rather than later, but I gotta say, guys, I think that Fallout 5 may be quite a ways away, just because Bethesda obviously working on none other than Starfield and working on all these other titles. Most, coming up probably the soonest would maybe be the Elder Scrolls 6. But nonetheless, guys, there's still been a lot of people talking about Fallout 5 and what could be in this title and what it may, all encompass. So I want to talk about if Fallout 5 gets announced in 2021, what could we kind of expect here? So let's talk about it. In an article written by Austin King of Screen Rant, it's been 5 years since Bethesda released Fallout 4 and 2 since Fallout 76. Neither of those titles seemed to satisfy the fans the way Fallout 3 or New Vegas did, which is why many people are looking ahead to the future of the series. Bethesda has stayed pretty quiet on the subject, so is Fallout 5 even happening? And if it is, when could fans realistically expect a release date? One thing, guys, that we have to remember is that Microsoft purchased Bethesda, which is absolutely huge on many levels, which we've already talked about on the YouTube channel. You guys can check that out. But honestly, guys, when we're talking about Fallout, maybe because they're now under Microsoft, Microsoft can fuel more people and more teams together to make, kind of greenlight more of these projects quicker. I mean, especially when we're talking about Fallout and some of these other IPs that could become now Xbox exclusives, it's absolutely massive. Now, the Fallout series is known for its dystopian American settings, taking place after a nuclear fallout has left the country a wasteland full of mutants, raiding parties, and Lovecraftian horrors. The first Fallout game arrived on PC in 1997, and it was quite different from the current games in the series. However, once Bethesda began work on the series with Fallout 3, the series essentially became a sci-fi Elder Scrolls with guns, and it reached new heights of popularity. Even though some fans were disappointed with Fallout 4, which, guys, I thought Fallout 4 was fine. I don't know. I guess I liked it more than New Vegas. Fallout 3 was probably the best that they ever made. And then, of course, guys, Fallout 76 was absolutely atrocious. But even though some fans were disappointed with Fallout 4, the game was still a success both commercially and critically. It makes sense Bethesda will continue making Fallout games, and Fallout 5 seems the most likely next entry in the series. Even though sales and reviews haven't been kind to Fallout 76, the online game's lackluster reception wouldn't be enough to cause Bethesda to axe the entire series. It's a pretty sure bet to say Fallout 5 will release eventually, but the real question is when. So even though Fallout 5 hasn't been officially announced, it's probably only a matter of time. The series is one of Bethesda's most profitable and popular franchises, so the company isn't going to cancel the series just because Fallout 76 stumbled. But that brings up the question of when exactly fans should expect the game to release. So far, Bethesda has announced Elder Scrolls 6 for next-gen consoles, but the company has stated the game is still years away from release. Realistically, Bethesda probably won't release Fallout 5 until after Elder Scrolls 6, which puts a release date somewhere in the next 5 years. And I agree with that. I don't think that they would release it until after Elder Scrolls 6. Here's the thing though, once again, I think that with Microsoft purchasing Bethesda, it's now pushing probably more, they're getting, be able to hire more people, get bigger teams to work on each of these projects like Elder Scrolls 6, Fallout 5, Starfield, all these other titles that they're going to work on, maybe the new Doom game, Prey game, all these different titles, I'm sure are going to be coming at some point or another. Now, it's also important to look at the time Bethesda spent between previous Fallout releases. Fallout 3 released in 2008 with Fallout 4 in 2015. If Bethesda keeps the same development time for Fallout 5, that keeps the game's release at year 2022. However, the release and subsequent time spent updating and patching of Fallout 76 could have slowed this pattern somewhat, which I got to agree. So, since the game is yet to be announced, release year of 2022 may seem a little too hopeful. However, fans could reasonably expect an official Fallout 5 announcement soon, perhaps even at the upcoming PS5 showcase. So, yes, 2022, guys, I don't think it's going to be coming out then. However, do I think we'll get an announcement of it before 2022? Yes. I think that we will hear an official announcement of Fallout 5 in 2021, probably late 2021. And I would assume it's going to come out, let's just say Elder Scrolls 6, if we hear more about it later this year or into next year. Hopefully, Elder Scrolls 6 comes out late 2021 or 2022. But like I said, we don't know how far they are on Elder Scrolls 6, how far they would be on Fallout 5. I mean, we just simply don't know, guys. So, at the end of the day, will we get a Fallout 5? Yes. Is it going to get announced next year? It's hard to say. I would love for it to be announced next year, especially with Microsoft. They're going to be able to kind of make a timeline of all the different games and give a lot more help to Bethesda with these titles. I think it's a match made in heaven, in my personal opinion, and I think it's going to be huge for these titles to be Xbox exclusives. But I would say, guys, that we will be getting Elder Scrolls 6 first, then a new Fallout, or maybe something else, maybe a new Prey, a new Dishonored, a new Doom game. Who knows? But Fallout 5 will come out at some point or another, guys. Mark my words, they're going to at least give it one more shot to see if they can kind of right the wrongs from Fallout 76. Is it going to be in 2021? Hopefully. But if it's not, maybe it'll be in 2022. We'll have to wait and see. But let me know, guys, what do you all think about Fallout and the potential of Fallout 5, and when do you guys think this game's going to come out? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Fallout 5 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. And with that being said, everyone, I hope you guys did enjoy this episode of the 8 Below Show. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.